Hola estudiantes, we're going to talk about el verbo ir. Please make sure that you have your note guide, a pencil, and your Avancemos textbook as we go through the PowerPoint, and I encourage you to go through it more than once if you need to. Don't forget that we'll have a flipped mini quiz when you come in tomorrow. Okay, conjugating. Conjugating is changing the form of a verb to indicate who is doing the action. We have talked about conjugating before. We know how to conjugate certain verbs like ser, tener, estar, and other AR verbs. I go to the gym. Go is a conjugated verb in English. Yo voy al gimnasio. Voy is a conjugated verb in Spanish. So notice the translation. Go is the verb in English. Voy is the conjugated verb in Spanish. That means I go. When you conjugate ir in the present tense, yo form, it translates to I go or I am going. So it has multiple meanings. It depends on what you're trying to say. So pause the video at this time and fill out parts A and B where it asks you what is conjugating and to say what the present tense yo form of the verb ir translates to. Okay, so we're talking about the verb ir. All right, we want to know how to conjugate it. So here are the forms. Now, ir is considered irregular. You have to memorize these forms. So let's look at the table. Yo voy means I go or I am going. Tu vas means you go or you are going. Usted va means you formal go or you are going. Él va means he goes or he is going. Ella va means she goes or she is going. Nosotros or nosotras vamos means we go or we are going. Ustedes van means you guys go or you guys are going. And ellos or ellas van means they go or they are going. So pause the video at this time and fill in part C where it wants you to fill in the verb chart with the conjugated forms of the verb ir. Use ir to say where someone goes or is going. So for example, if I say, yo voy a la clase de arte mañana, I'm telling you I go to art class tomorrow or I am going to art class tomorrow. So remember, yo voy means I go or I am going. Okay, now you have to use a followed by ir to say that you are going to a certain place. So think of the a as to. So I'm going to a certain place. You cannot leave out the a. For example, yo voy a la biblioteca means I go to the library. So notice here we have a followed by the form of ir. Okay, so we're saying I go to the library. Now we have a question. ¿Tú vas a la fiesta de Carlos? Now here, again, we have the form of ir conjugated according to the to form, so tu vas, and then we have a to say you are going, or sorry, are you going to Carlos's party? So remember, you can't leave out the a. And here's one more. Mi amiga va a la oficina para hablar con el director. My friend goes or is going to the office in order to talk with the principal. So remember, we have to use a form of ir to say where someone goes or is going, and we have to use a to say they're going to. Okay, now a followed by el makes the contraction al. We've already worked in class with de plus l. Remember, if we have the word de followed by l, we contract them to make del, D-E-L. Well, we're going to do the same thing with a. If a is followed by el, we have to make the contraction al. It will not contract with la, los, or las. So let's look at some examples. Las chicas van al baño. The girls go to the bathroom. The reason we have al is because we have to have a. And we know el baño because baño is masculine and singular. It's not la baño, it's not los baño, and it's not las baño. Therefore, we have to use el, and a plus el will always form the contraction al. Let's look at another example. Ustedes van a la cafetería? Are you guys going to the cafeteria? Notice we have our form of ir, conjugated, followed by a, but because cafeteria is feminine, we say la cafeteria, we will not contract a and la. We only contract a plus l to form al. Let's look at one more. Nosotros vamos al gimnasio para practicar deportes. We go to the gym in order to practice sports. Again, we have gimnasio, which is masculine, which would be el gimnasio. So a plus l is al. Okay, fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb ir. So, let's use our verb chart from part C of our note guide to fill in the correct form. So let's look at, for the subject, yo, we want to say I go to the cafeteria or I'm going to the cafeteria. So, we should say yo voy a la cafeteria. Dos, our subject is nosotros. So we want to say we go to the gym or we're going to the gym would be nosotros vamos al gimnasio. Look at tres. We want to say Juan goes to science class. Juan va a la clase de ciencias. We're going to use va because it's like saying he. Juan is he. We know he is él, so we want to look on the chart for él, and we know the form of ir is va. Okay, look at cuatro. They go to the bathroom. Ellos van al baño. They go to the bathroom. We need van because that's the form that matches ellos. Okay, look at cinco. Tú vas a la clase de inglés. We need to use vas because that's the form that matches the two. And then número seis, usted. Using the chart, which form of ir do we need? We need va. Usted va a la escuela. So, let's also notice, before we move on, that because cafeteria is feminine, we said la, so we do not contract a plus la. Yeah, however, for número dos, because gimnasio would be el gimnasio, we had to contract a plus el, al. Okay? Look here. Clase, we have to memorize as being feminine. Again, so there's no contraction. We contracted here because baño is masculine. Notice it ends in an O. So, gimnasio ends in O, we contracted, al gimnasio. Baño ends in an O, we contracted, al baño. Okay? So notice here we did not contract because la is feminine. Okay, let's translate some sentences together. Traduzcamos. Where are you going? Well, in Spanish, when you want to ask someone where they're going, you have to use the to where. So, you should say, ¿A dónde vas tú? To where are you going? Notice because it's you, we used vas. Okay? Look at dos. We are going to the office. So, we know is nosotros. Form of ir we need is vamos. And also, don't forget, we need the a. So, nosotros vamos a la oficina. And the last one, she goes to the gym on Saturdays. We know she is ella. Form of ir we need is va. And for this one, we need to contract because gimnasio is masculine. So, ella va al gimnasio los sábados. Los sábados means on Saturdays. Okay, so at this point, I need you to pause the video and complete parts D and E of the note guide. Part D asks you to translate to English and use your textbook dictionary if you need it. And part E asks you to fill in the blank with either al, a la, a los, or a las. So remember, if the word that comes after the blank ends in O, you're going to make sure that you make your contraction al. Okay? If you have additional questions, please see the notes provided on page 91 of your text.